I was filming a movie called Blood Pageant, and I was filming that in...
Sorry, you didn't mention this one before. Blood Pageant?
Oh, yeah. It was a Snoop Dogg.
What? You live in an apartment that do you have a stove?
I have a hot plate.
You have a hot plate.
Microwave and an air fryer. This is the best deal. I love it so much. It is near Burbank, and I pay $1,100.
That can't be
All
true.
All utilities paid.
What?
Yeah.
How?
COVID.
Oh, I thought
and it doesn't go up.
I thought you were blackmailing somebody. That's what it sounds like.
No, it doesn't go up either.
But here's the big question. You've said you found your person. When are you going to have to give up that apartment?
Never. We've already talked about that. There's no point of getting rid of it because let's say him and I, my boyfriend and I do move away.
Yeah.
We want to have some place in LA. So if I'm still filming movies and of course still doing stand-up, I need a home base.
You're a complicated case because I know you as a stand-up.
Yeah.
But I also like seeing your career. I'm like, but does she consider, because you still do a lot of stand up, but you're also like a very successful with all the films you're doing. So I'm kind of like, how do you identify? Or do you consider yourself a stand up or an actor? You're a stand up.
It's way cooler because when you tell people you're an actor, I've been in 18 movies.
Insane.
They still don't believe me. They'll still be like, oh, but like, are you in anything now? Kind of like, it's not like,
what have you done for me lately kind of stuff.
Yeah. But when it's like, I do stand-up comedy, they're like, no way. Like, it's just like so cool to them. And I feel like at the end of the day, I'm doing stand-up more because I can do it every week.
That's true.
There's not many auditions right now.
Yeah, but like, even with your pedigree?
Yeah. I have not auditioned in like 3 months.
What? Okay. Let me introduce the tea, and then I have so many questions for you. Our steepers steep with us at home as they listen to these episodes. So for those who are steeping at home, we are drinking Bird & Blend's Lemon Sherbert tea. Here's the thing. It's spelled Sherbet. So, but I pronounce it Sherbert. Maybe it's Sherbet. I don't know.
Ooh, that's good.
I haven't gotten in yet. That is exactly what I needed right now. For those steeping at home, it's an Herbal 212. I did it for 7 minutes. Really steep to your heart's content. Okay. I am like so confused by what you just said to me. You've been in 18 movies. I've watched multiple trailers. I've not seen the films. I'm going to do a JD just watch through.
Yes,
Whole
please
thing.
do.
Out of curiosity, how in the hell is anyone getting an audition if you're not?
I don't think most people are getting auditions right now.
Yeah.
The strike really caused a lot of, I think, problems in the industry because it's like everybody lost money. So there's not a lot of things being made. And I don't know if this is true, but this is how I'm looking at it. Back in the day, I was able to take the lower budget films that I loved, the indie films, the this and then that.
Yeah, I love indie. Yeah.
And then the bigger people weren't doing those. But now that the people up here aren't working as much or went 6 months without working, they're now taking those lower movies. So it's like
everything pushes down.
Yeah. So now it's like I'm probably going against bigger names. So they're not going to choose me. So
that's crazy.
Yeah.
I love how
it used
it's
to be like
I'm
the cheapest option. Like I did this clown movie and I literally think I booked it because I was cheaper than a movie star.
Sorry, let's back up a hint there. You did a clown movie.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Oh, it was so great.
This is not like Terrifier. Is it a horror movie with clowns?
It was called The Curse of the Clown Motel and it had Tobin Bell from Saw in it. And you could only watch it illegally.
What?
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean?
You have to like find it online through an illegal site because it's sold in like Egypt. But it's doing so well. That's the thing. I checked like the star meter on IMDb and it's like doing great.
Okay, hold on.
And I'll get so many followers. I'm like, what?
Hold on. Okay.
Yeah, it gets crazy.
So this is a movie that has people I've heard of.
Yeah.
Like multiple people I've heard of.
That's what I'm saying. That's what's so weird. I don't get it. How did America not buy it? Unless someone here is going to buy it later.
The Curse of the Clown. Everyone is listening. I mean, go check it out.
Please do.
We have a loyal fan base. Go listen or watch. So is there any opportunity for you to get scared watching it? Or because you know everything, it's just not? Okay. I always wanted to know.
So I don't get scared. I think it psychologically messes with me, but the thrillers do.
The thrillers
The thrillers, not the horror ones. The horror ones are
Interesting.
cheesy, but the thrillers, like the Lifetime movies, which I love doing.
Yeah.
How the writers do it is they give the villain, who's usually me.
Wait, you get to be the villain?
I'm always the villain. I've probably been the good girl once.
Dream job. I'd rather be the villain.
But they give the villain a justifiable reason to kill everybody, like in her mind.
Okay.
So it makes you like feel crazy. You're like, I'm killing them because I don't know. It's so like when you're filming that and you have to like pretend to stab someone and you have a body bag, like a trash bag, and you're creeping into a house like for 12 hours a day. And again, it doesn't make me a villain or make me a murderer, but it still is kind of like there's people out there like this, and it makes you just kind of creeped out more about the world. Also, the murders are so funny because they don't use guns. So they use chainsaws.
I'm sorry.
What did I use?
A chainsaw is much better?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, let's not get guns in there. Bring in the chainsaw, lop a head off, but no guns.
One was like it was a needle, and it was putting, I can't even think of some kind of drug into someone.
So just hypothetically speaking, so you said you've done 18 of these, correct?
18 movies, 8 Lifetime movies.
8 Lifetime movies. And how many of those are you killing people?
Okay. So, Deadly Garage Sale, I was a killer.
Okay.
Killed the HOA lady.
Sure. And who hasn't?
Right.
Yeah.
Look Who's Stalking, I was the killer.
Okay, great.
Smuggling in Suburbia, I wasn't the killer because it was a smuggling movie. It wasn't really like, and we were smuggling blood diamonds, but I was a bad person. Like I was stealing things and running
Smuggling
away.
blood diamonds in a suburb.
Yeah.
Classic. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that story's been told so many times.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then I was in Deep Blue Nightmare where the villain was actually a shark. First time ever that they did that.
Hold on.
Yeah.
There's no human villain. Completely just a shark. So Jaws-esque in nature where everybody's against the shark.
Yeah.
Okay. I never used to watch horror movies. Do you ever watch horror movies?
I used to. Oh, I loved them growing up. I liked Hide and Seek with Dakota Fanning. And then what else did I like growing up?
I don't know if I've seen that.
No, I feel like I didn't watch like the main ones.
That definitely doesn't sound down the beaten path. But like I would never watch them. I was scared. I was a scaredy baby. I still am.
I think I always wanted to be in them. I think that's why I watched them. Even as a kid, I wanted to be that creepy kid. I wanted to be in movies. Like
really?
Yeah.
And you're there in Houston. And you're like, I was born in the wrong city. Let's go.
Yeah.
Did you from early on? Were you just telling your parents like I'm going to do that?
Oh yeah. Age 12.
Wait, so where did stand-up come in the mix? Because as I said, for those listening, I knew you so much as a stand-up. And then all of a sudden I like blinked and 15 minutes later, it was like the queen of Lifetime.
Well, so I originally was acting. I was always acting. I moved to LA to act.
Okay.
And my dad did stand-up before I was even born.
Okay,
and he works in tech. He just was doing it. Yeah. He was doing it in Austin, and they had like a live show that they would broadcast.
Wait, he was performing?
Yeah, in Austin before it was cool. Before performing in Austin was cool.
Honestly, I may put you in a car in the garage and I may take your parents. I'm just throwing it out there.
That's so funny. But he couldn't afford to take my mom on a date at the time. And so he got drink tickets and gave them to her. And so that was their date. And so he had this VHS of his stand-up. And he told me the moment I turned 18, I could watch it because I guess it was like...
Probably raunchy.
Yeah, exactly. And I watch it and I thought it was like so cool. And I would always watch like late night television growing up, and I'd always watch comedy. He doesn't do stand-up anymore. He just has a regular job, whatever. But then I moved to LA and I was doing acting. And then I met a guy whose friend was performing at the improv space at UCLA. It was free. So I would just like watch the show.
Sure.
And then someone was like, well, why don't you perform? You're always here. And I'm like, well, why would I perform? And they're like, well, if you're an actor, you could probably, and I was like, whatever. And then I got on stage and I loved it. And then I was doing it so much.
Yeah.
And I wasn't even I wasn't even really acting at that time. Like I didn't have any Lifetime movies yet or any big movies
or any of the indies. Yeah.
Exactly. So I was doing that. And then I started booking movies. So I didn't take a break from stand-up, which it's so funny because I feel like people think I took a break, and it's like, no, I just traveled to film a movie and then I come back.
I don't know. I mean, I will admit I was kind of one of the people who thought that you were taking a break.
Or people think I moved back to Texas.
I didn't think that, but I know there were like people that I used to see all the time, you being one of them, like Julia Austin, Nick Tarvell, like there were all the people that I would see all the time.
Because they actually are my neighbors.
Well, I know they're in the Valley now, but they used to be by
They
me.
used to be in the West. So that must be why. I must have seen you in the West Side. I don't come to the West Side anymore.
I know. We've all been wondering why.
Yeah.
We talk about it.
I always go to the Valley.
Interesting. Yeah. I just lost track of you for a minute. And all of a sudden.
I perform, like when I would travel, I'd perform other places too.
Even if you were like filming in bumblefuck nowhere, you'd be like, do you have a comedy club here?
I tried that. So in Oklahoma, I got to perform.
Oh.
Yeah. And then I've
never performed there.
It was really fun. I forgot the name. Was it Bricktown? I forgot the name. It's something like that.
Probably like the Chuckle Hut.
It was, the Chuckle Hut.
Yeah.
When I filmed the movie in Houston in 2019, I think. And I performed in Houston, of course, because I'm from there and I know people.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of where else I've worked. So I worked in Tennessee for like a month. I wasn't in Knoxville because I was in the Smoky Mountains. And I think Knoxville actually didn't have a comedy club. I think the closest one was like Nashville. And I was like, I didn't have time to go.
No, I mean, you could have done like in the Smoky Mountains out for the Bears. I mean, if you want.
I know,
just
really.
perform for the wilderness.
I was like, well, there was like enough bars. I'm like, can someone I'll just perform.
Yeah, let me get a mic and a speaker. I got
please.
this.
But also that the travel show I did almost allowed me to do comedy in a way of like, I was just like a travel host making jokes along the way. So it felt like I was doing comedy.
Now, this is the Smoky Mountains piece.
Smoky Mountains
Which
stories.
is different than, not to bring up your past, but is different than, I believe you did some kind of on-the-road situation with one of the Pauls, if I recall correctly.
Jake Paul?
Was it Logan?
Paul.
Yes.
Logan Paul. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so funny. I played his girlfriend in something. Yeah.
But wasn't that also kind of like a road show of some kind?
Yeah, but I was just in one episode.
Okay.
I totally forgot about that.
You know what? Here at Steep, whoa.
I think I kissed him.
How was it?
I might be starting rumors.
Listen, I don't want to say anything, but
I feel like I kissed him.
If for everyone listening, so Juliana DeStefano just said she kissed Logan Paul, and it was, and I'm quoting here, the worst kiss she's ever had. No, is that not what you said?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's what I
still
heard.
don't even know if I kissed him. I know I played his girlfriend, and there's photos to prove it. So I don't know if I kissed him. I'm going to get canceled. I'm not even big enough to get canceled. So I
always make that joke where I'm like, no, like
nobody's coming after me.
I'm a clean comic, and I literally caught myself saying the other day, I was like, well, I mean, like people know me as a clean comic. I don't want to like start going dirty. And then I was like, wait, no one knows me. I can do whatever I want.
You know who knows me? People at TJ Maxx in Nordstrom Rack and the park. Those are the places I get recognized all the time.
That is the craziest set of things.
Yeah. It's always Lifetime though.
Is it?
And yeah, this happened.
You know me from Deep Blue Nightmare.
Yeah. That one, so funny. That one came out on Lifetime. It plays all the time. It's probably going to play a lot in August because of Shark Week. But they sold it to like France or like somewhere else. I get blown up with messages randomly from that movie. Like that's my most popular movie. And get this, I can now say this. I filmed this under the table during COVID.
Under a table?
Not like, I don't know if the word would be illegally, but like.
Oh, you mean like, I get it. Under the table. Understood. Understood. I was like, under a table. Under the table.
No.
Yeah.
Like it was sketchy what I did to film that movie.
And
it was like, nobody's going to see this. Nobody in the world's going to see this movie.
Except the entire country of France.
And my bucket list was to be in a shark movie.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Your bucket list, just to be clear, which could have anything, had I want to be
career bucket list, I guess.
Okay. Still, could have been like, I want to star in a movie with Timothy Chalamet, but instead it had, I want to be in a shark movie.
Shark movie.
But did you want to be in a shark horror movie or just any kind of shark movie?
I feel like all shark movies are very
now that I said that, that's
like
right.
My favorite one was Deep Blue Sea.
Great movie.
And I watched
That's the one with LL Cool J, right?
Yes.
Great movie.
So I wanted to be like in a movie like that. And Deep Blue Nightmare I was like, I can't turn that down.
As you do with these things, do you have to think about like, what is the career trajectory that I want? Am I contributing to it? Or are you more right now just like, I want to just like work and experience things. Something comes across my plate and it sounds cool, I'm doing it. I'm not worried about what my career arc looks like.
A little bit of everything.
Oh,
because
okay.
I'm actually at this point where I just want to live life.
Yeah.
I feel like I've had a lot of fun filming the movies, but there was a time where it was kind of like you had to be here every minute. You had to wait for your phone. I spent months for training and I was I was in the top 2 to be the Power Ranger, the Pink Power Ranger twice. Maybe the first time was 2018, and I got to the top 2, sign stuff.
Oh, you had to sign the whole commit, the 7-year commit and all that other stuff.
Or it was 18 months.
Oh, okay.
Didn't get it. Then a few years later, they called me again and they sent me straight to like producers. And then I trained more and more with for karate. I got to another audition and they set everybody up with, I guess, a trainer, but they weren't paying for it. It was kind of like, you learn it if you want this job kind of thing. And I learned it and I had to do all these kicks for them. It was crazy.
Okay, so everything happens, you don't get it. Were you still like, I want to keep doing karate? No.
I couldn't afford it.
Oh, got it. Yeah.
I was actually, the first time I was filming a movie called Blood Pageant, and I was filming that in...
Sorry, you didn't mention this one before. Blood Pageant?
Oh, yeah. It was a Snoop Dogg.
What? Why does this conversation continue to get more confusing every minute? Okay, finish your sentence and we're going to come back to Blood Pageant. So you're doing Blood Pageant.
So I'm, in the heart of these auditions for Power Rangers
Right.
while being the lead in a movie.
With Snoop Dogg.
And it was filming in San Diego for most of the time.
Okay.
And then it was filming in Ontario, which is about...
Ontario, California?
Or California, yeah.
Okay.
So it was 45 minutes away from LA. I get a call that I have like the final callback while I'm filming. Like I'm leading this movie and I'm, filming the movie that day. So I talked to the first AD and this time I was going to be the yellow Power Ranger. So first time was going to be the yellow, second time was going to be pink. And I talked to the first AD and I was like, this is like a chance of a lifetime. Can we just put the scenes that were at the end? Can we put them in the morning and I'll be back by 2? I'll be here at 2. My audition was at maybe 9 or 10. Like I'd figure it out. And he's like, you're so lucky that Power Rangers was my favorite show growing up. And he switched the whole schedule for me. I had this whole yellow kind of outfit on. I think I was at a hotel maybe in Ontario because we were staying for the week. Drove back to LA, did the audition, did my little karate kick thing, and then came back and then filmed. Yeah.
Filmed the classic Blood Pageant.
Blood Pageant.
Yeah. I mean, all of our favorite film, I think.
Where I totally got possessed in. They did that's a whole other thing.
What is going on?
They did a whole seance thing. But they had to have a priest on set because of the words that they were saying to call out the devil. It was some creepy shit.
Did you actually get to work with Snoop Dogg?
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Okay, so the movie is it's kind of like The Bachelor / beauty pageants. So it's like contestants come in, there's a host, we live in this house, and we're competing for this beauty pageant, right? So Snoop Dogg was the celebrity judge in the movie. And
this is the craziest.
So I filmed, my name was number 1 on the call sheet. So Juliana DeStefano, number 1. He was number 20 because he didn't film that many scenes. And this isn't me dogging anything.
Snoop dogging anything.
Snoop dogging anything.
Yeah.
So I had a trailer and I thought my trailer, it was my first time I got a trailer that, and it had a mini fridge and it had a little tiny couch and it had a toilet and a sink. And I thought it was so cool that I had my own movie trailer to go back and memorize my lines. I was filming every day. He filmed for maybe 2 days. His trailer had a master bedroom, a full kitchen. So more than my apartment.
Yeah, I was going to say, we didn't forget your apartment.
Yeah, we did not forget my apartment.
Hot plate and an air fryer.
Yes, exactly.
Unbelievable.
And you opened the trailer and just smoke would come out. It was pretty cool. He was nice. Oh, and then he just decided to on our breaks, film a music video in the parking lot.
Did he offer to smoke you out?
No.
Oh, I would have been I don't even smoke. And I would have been am I going to smoke with Snoop Dogg?
I think at that time I was so afraid of celebrities. No matter if I'm the like main person in the movie, I still like, hi.
Are you still afraid of celebrities?
Depends.
You're
I've
aware.
met so many celebrities.
You're a celebrity to some people, but
I'm still that girl though. It's like, oh, I think I know you from something. I can't figure out where I know. Like that's more the.
But you know, people do that to like Jake Gyllenhaal. They go,
That's
"Why
true.
do I
Why
know
do
you?
I know you? Yeah.
Oh, you were in Lord of the Rings," and he goes, "That was not me."
That
Like
was
you
not-
just
that's-
know
yeah.
that like that's happening to
Yeah.
them. I think the only people that are kind of immune to that, I would guess, are like you got to be like Beyonce.
Yeah.
Like you know, you got to be like Tom Cruise. I think
Right.
like that level for people to be like, no one's mistaking.
My
them.
favorite story of getting recognized was so up until now, like now I have a full-time job,
Yeah.
9 to 5,
Yeah.
but I was a nanny for years when I wasn't filming. And what I would do is like, I would spend my filming money to pay rent and everything. And then just my living life money, I had to have another job. So I was a nanny. And this happened maybe a year ago. I was at a park with a kid I was babysitting. And this grandma comes up to me and she goes, "Oh my gosh, you're in the Lifetime movies." And I go, "I am." And she looks at the kid and she goes, "I didn't know you were a mom." And I was like, "I'm not. I'm just a nanny."
And you're like, it's not mine. It's not mine.
It's so embarrassing because then they're like, "But aren't you a movie star?" And you're like, "Not really."
I lived in Chicago and I was performing at Second City and like 6 nights a week. And I was on a subway platform and this kid came up to me and he goes, "Oh my God, I'm like such a big fan." He's like, "I love what you do. Can I have your autograph?" And I go, and this is where my confidence was. I go, "Oh, you must be confusing me with someone else. I'm so sorry." I was like, "I'm not Jesse Eisenberg. I'm a comedian." He goes, "No, I know you're at Second City." And I go, "You're probably talking about Tim. So Tim and I look very similar." Tim also at Second City. I am, but you're thinking about Tim.
That's so funny.
Yeah, this kid finally looks at me and goes, "Dude,
It's you.
he's like, you sing a song about angel hair pasta." And I go, "Oh, that's me. I do that. I do that." And he goes, "Yeah, dude. I'm a really big fan." And I was like, oh, it became such a humiliating story for me where I was like, my confidence was so low.
That's so great.
I'm just like, I tried to convince this kid it wasn't me.
Right.
I'm like, "No, dude. It's someone else.
It's someone else.
It's definitely not me."
That's how I feel like my other actors or my actor friends
Yeah.
are so much more bad confidence or more conceited. While comedians, I vibe way more with comedians. They're like, "No, it's not me. It's good."
Yeah.
Like it's just like our confidence is so low.
Yeah. I'm like, you've never seen me. Okay.
Okay. I had this friend who wasn't she was a horrible friend.
I never liked her. I'm just going to tell you right now.
Yeah, you didn't like her.
Didn't care for her.
We were at Universal Studios. This is, by the way, nothing against anybody that works at Universal Studios. This was something my friend said.
This is a bold preface.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
She said that I don't know if you've seen, I think it's Waterworld. I don't know where they do the flips and they there's a whole show at Universal Studios. And
I think they do a Waterworld show.
Yeah. And it's mostly actors who are doing it.
Sure.
This girl looks at me and she goes, "So when your acting career fails, is this where you're going to be, working at Universal Studios?" And I was like so upset. I'm walking out and one of the stunt guys from the show goes, "Hey, don't you do stand-up?" And recognized me.
I would have been like, "Oh my God, I do." Fuck.
Yeah. It was like perfect timing.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I mean, and by the way, just to be clear, what a joy it would be to do the Waterworld show
I
at
know.
Universal.
I wish I could do flips. Have you been to SeaWorld?
No. Is SeaWorld still a thing after the whole, like, what was it called?
I'm so canceled. I went a few weeks ago.
Did you?
It's better now because they donate money to something.
Okay, great. I love that. It's better now, and I'm quoting, "They donate money to something." Okay, excellent. Okay, so yeah, I'm sure the whales are fine. They talk to the whales now. They said it's
there's
good.
like a whole thing. Like I think whatever.
What was it called? Blackwater?
Blackfish.
Blackfish.
Yeah,
Blackfish.
great documentary.
Couldn't watch it.
Okay, this is bad. SeaWorld's discounted now, so I got a season pass. Oh, it gets worse. I have a season pass now.
You have a season pass? How often are you going?
Oh, I wish I went more.
Oh my God.
No, my first time was a few weeks ago, and I was like, I've been missing out on this.
It's good enough that you were like, I want to go multiple times in a year.
So I like Disneyland, but the rides aren't cool. It's just more of the vibe of being at Disney.
I think California Adventure has some good rides.
I like Six Flags, and they have a lot of rides. But then SeaWorld, I guess, felt like there was a theme to it in a way, and there was cooler actual roller coasters, and it was cheaper than Disneyland. So I went, so I didn't spend money at Disneyland. I just got that theme park or amusement park out of me. But it got canceled in the meantime.
Yeah. There's no part of me that like day to day goes, oh, I just jonesing for an amusement park. There's just not a part of me.
I don't know what it was. I really wanted to go to Disney. It's like $200 in the summer. And so my boyfriend and I were like, why don't we just go to freaking SeaWorld? And it was $65.
Well, 75 once you got the season pass.
Oh, yes, exactly. And we got churros. It was fun. There was free beer. It was like free beer Saturday or something. It was fun.
By the way, let's be clear about churros. You can say, hey, I'm going to a funeral, but there will be churros. I'll be like, yeah, I'll go.
Yeah.
I love a churro.
I love churros.
Yeah, but I love a churro with a good dipping. Like, can I get a little chocolate dipping sauce, maybe a little caramel?
Oh, another thing I like doing is I'll go to downtown Disney. I'll buy a churro and I'll post a photo on Instagram that I'm at Disneyland.
Why is that bad?
Because I'm lying. I'm not at Disneyland.
Are you good at social media? Are you?
No, I don't care about it.
Okay.
I actually don't have it on my phone. I only have it on my iPad.
Oh, so you're not you're not of the school of thought where you need to have a certain number of followers to succeed in stand up or in acting.
I'm like, I feel like I should put more effort, so I'm starting to put more social clips up on there, and going with whatever the trends are.
Yeah.
But I only download Instagram on my phone if I go on a trip or something. Like if I'm out of town for a weekend somewhere cool and I want to post about it, but I mostly don't have it on my phone.
So here's my question. This is confusing. So you and your boyfriend, you don't watch movies.
Nope.
You don't have social media on your phone. And you don't watch a lot of TV. What do you do? Like, what is it? What is like on a
so
random?
This is where the story gets great.
Oh,
well, we go to SeaWorld.
No, classic.
Yes.
Because you don't believe in the whales.
And by the way, this is not sponsored by Frontier Airlines, but we paid $299 for Frontier Airlines for 6 months to get unlimited $15 tickets. The next weekend we're flying to Dallas to go wine tasting in San Antonio. And I know that sounds weird. We're flying because Dallas is a hub for Frontier and all my friends live there and we're all going wine tasting. So we're flying to Dallas and then all my friends and I were driving to San Antonio. And then when they drive back to Dallas, they just drop me off at the airport.
This is the craziest shit I've ever heard.
We travel a lot.
Instead of doing normal human things. We should get to our first segment. Are you ready for the Newly Friend game?
Yes.
Love it. So the Newly Friend game, you grab your board. It's like the Newlywed game, but we're friends. Okay. So the way that this works is I'm going to ask you a question. You're going to don't say your answer out loud. You're going to write it down. I'm going to ask you a question. Write down your answer. I'll write down what I think your answer is. Then we'll flip our boards over and see if we got it right. And then we'll do the same question for me. Now, you, as I've learned today, have played a lot of different villains. So given that, if you could pick a famous movie villain that has already happened, and you could reprise that role. We're going to do a reboot of this movie, and you get to play the villain. Don't say the answer out loud. Write it down. Who is the villain that you would want to play? 1, 2, 3. No! Oh my God. Oh my God. We got it right. Oh my God. We both wrote Cruella de Vil. That is the craziest thing that has ever happened on this podcast.
Oh my
This is the greatest moment of my life. Nothing is going to be better than this. We might as well quit the whole podcast.
Wow.
Wait a minute. Okay. For some reason, in my heart of hearts, remember when I said I just feel it?
Yeah.
I totally was like, she'd be a great Cruella de Vil. Like, that would be a killer role for you. She is a complex character. She's interesting. She's fun. And I was like, you'd crush this. Why did you pick her?
Because it's a movie I've watched. I haven't watched a lot of movies.
But you know a lot of villains.
Yeah, but like not fast enough. Like I couldn't think fast enough to think of one that's like topical right now. And I was like, oh, a Disney one would be coming back, or like, I mean, I feel
Yeah.
like they just did it, but still.
They did just do Cruella, which by the way was a wonderful film.
Yeah.
That is crazy. I love that we both chose that, but it sounds like you did not put as much thought into it as I did. You're like, no, I'm just gonna pick.
I was
this
like, which
character.
one's the one with the dogs? And then I wrote it down.
Can I say something really weird? Jess has a weird obsession every time we see Dalmatians out in public. She thinks it's like spotting like, like a diamond in the rough. She goes, oh, a Dalmatian.
I think it's so rare.
Okay, so you also are
I
like
do that too.
Really?
I don't see them a lot.
I don't see them a lot
I
either.
heard they're
but like,
weird dogs.
are they?
Yeah, I heard they're like wild.
Yeah, well, they gather in packs of 101. That's just what I've heard.
That's
I don't know if
funny.
it's true.
That's so
okay,
funny.
so we're going to do the same question for me.
Okay.
You're going to have a really tough time because you don't watch any movies. So I'm going to try and choose more down the line. Like, I'm not going to choose someone that you haven't heard of. Okay, so we'll say
Okay.
that.
It's
1,
wrong, 'cause-
2, 3. Flip Batman. Batman is a superhero.
I know.
Not a villain.
So I couldn't think fast enough.
So I wrote the lead girl in Blood Pageant. That was my first one. I feel like I would crush in that. The second one I wrote was Billy Zabka in The Karate Kid. He's
See,
the
I
guy
would
that
never
sweeps the
known that.
leg. Yeah, I didn't think you would. And then I also wrote the Icelandic coach in Mighty Ducks.
Yep. No.
Never seen those.
I was trying to think of The Incredibles. I've seen that movie. Who's the villain in that?
Oh my God, I was about to say Frozone, but that's not the villain. Oh my God, what's his name? I don't.
See, I don't know. I only know the heroes.
Oh, okay, big dog. Sorry that you know all the superheroes. You're like,
Sorry.
listen, I hobnob with the superheroes.
I almost was one. I was almost the Power Rangers. So.
Listen, I don't want to brag, but I was
I
almost
was
pink
almost-
and yellow. No, that's the game. You can put your board down. I told you it was quick. It runs by
so quick.
fast. Here's the thing. I do think I could be a really great lead girl in Blood Pageant. Are they going to make Blood Pageant 2? Sign me up. One thing that we talked about off mic, by the way, that I want to bring up because I think it's so awesome. When you first came here, can you tell the story a little bit that you were telling off mic when you first came here that you had dropped out of school and then the
Yes.
changes that you made?
Yes. So when I first moved to LA, the agreement was you can move to LA if you go to college, of course. And
I feel like that's probably a fair compromise. Yeah.
And it was I moved here and then hung out at the improv space, and I was actually hanging out with people that didn't go to UCLA.
Oh.
They actually all dropped out of college, and they were like, you should too. Otherwise, you're never going to make it. Well, one of them ended up being on a TV show, and I never made it. And I was like, well, why did I do that? And then years later, something came to me, and I was like, I felt like I was at like a stopping point, not in acting, but I was like, if all else fails, what am I going to do? And I went back to school, but it was the best thing I did because I balanced a lot because I was still filming movies and I filmed Smoky Mountain Stories. But what was cool about the university that I went to, it was a lot of people going back to school.
Really?
Yes. I ended up booking a movie one of the semesters, and I told my teacher, and he allowed me to come to a different class for 3 weeks when I was filming. The other teacher I think when I was in Tennessee, one of the classes ended up being online, and then I only missed one, the in-person one. So I really did it well. I got totally lucky. And then I took a podcasting class last summer before I graduated, and I just took it because it was a summer one, and I had to have a guest on my podcast that I had to make, and it was a comedian that I know. And she worked for a podcast company, and she was like, you know that this is my job, right? And I go, really? And she got me an internship at her company, which was the hardest thing to do at 28. I wasn't getting paid. I was getting school credit.
Yeah.
And I was still acting, still doing stand-up, still babysitting, still in school. And I was learning how to produce podcasts and learning how to edit. So I did that first semester, and then I think it was in December when I turned in all my finals, I said, the internship's over, of course, because I'm done. And she's like, can you just go on one more meeting? And I was like, sure. And I get on the Zoom, and everybody's in Dallas, and they offered me the job to be full time.
She knew that was going to happen.
Yeah. Because she was in Dallas for they did a little workshop thing. The company's in Dallas. So I work remote in LA.
I can't imagine what would happen if you were like, no, I don't want to do another meeting. I'm fine.
I'm fine.
Thank you.
I think I'm so much happier now because I'm able to still do everything I want, but also have stability.
Yeah.
And getting a degree has just changed my mindset because I'm like, I'm good. I know people have different beliefs of like school doesn't matter or this or that, but to me it did because I'm like, no matter what, I'll find something to survive because I don't think I was finding anything before that because I was filming and I was still like broke, you know, it was hard.
Yeah. We had, do you know Ellery Smith?
Probably.
She's another stand-up in LA, and we had her on, and she was telling us she wrote on Robot Chicken. She had 3 Emmy nominations for writing on Robot Chicken.
Oh,
and
she was on the show. Was she on the show?
Yes,
Yes.
yes. And she was a nanny.
Yeah.
And she's like, it's very humbling. And I think that like there is a common misconception that I think people outside of this industry have where they see someone who has some success and they go, oh, they must be getting paid millions.
It's like, no.
Like that's not how it works.
Because what people don't understand is that we're actually desperate. So a lot of the time they take advantage. They take advantage. And a lot of the time we're doing things for low pay because we want to be in a movie or we want to be on a stand-up show or we want to do this or we want to do that because we love it. And I will continue to do that. But again, it's also good to have something else. And my job is creative. Like I get to work with reality stars. I work with a former Miss USA. Like I'm working with people and I'm getting to like write questions for them and I get to edit their podcast. I get to make it funny in a way. So it's so much fun.
When you had first dropped out of school and then you were thinking about going back, was the drive to go back more about you wanted to finish what you started and open other doors, or was it more driven by like feeling regret for having dropped out?
I was like not taken seriously. So many different, it was like weird. I mean, I come from Texas where it's like most people are educated with like masters. Like they're just, everybody graduates and has a good job. Like it was weird that, and I think even dating felt weird. I felt less than the people I was dating in a way. It was like a really big, weird insecurity that I had.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I just got to push through it and like see what happens. And I ended up getting to go to school for free.
What?
Yeah. Because I was over the age of 24 and I wasn't dependent on anybody. And because of like my financial status, it was like, and I went to a school where they got a lot of government funding. And so I think I paid for a bachelor's degree, $1,200.
Okay. So everyone who's listening to this is going to be so upset.
I know.
Was that, I mean, I don't want to make you rank the decisions you've made in your life, but like, was that kind of one of the best decisions?
It was the best. It's changed my attitude.
Yeah.
It's changed like my mindset on life, everything. And it's cheesy because it's like,
I don't think so.
I get told by so many people who didn't go to school, like, what's the point? And I'm like, well, because again, it is kind of like the finishing. It's also like once you're done with a movie role, it's done. And you go from high to low, and then people forget it. I think finishing the degree was something where I'm like, nobody's ever going to take that from me. It's always there.
Yeah.
It's like, it's going to help me more than it's going to harm me. So.
Did it harm you at all?
No, I was worried though. I was like, oh, am I not going to be able to act? You know, am I going to, because I was going to school full time.
That strikes me as absolutely insane. But
and
like,
I was top of my class too. Yeah.
Are you bad at
I
anything?
had like 3.8 GPA, I think.
Yeah, we're going to do another show about what are you bad at? It's got to be something.
So many things.
I mean, obviously don't think about them right now. Let's relish in what you just did.
Yeah, that's why I paused, because it's not like, oh, what am I bad at? I'm bad at so many things that I'm like, I can't even.
Oh, I said that to someone the other day. Someone was like, oh my God, are you good at everything? I was like, no.
I'm bad at so many.
I was like, literally, let's start with sports.
You know what I'm really good at?
Rock climbing.
Pogo sticking.
Sorry, what? How did you find out you're good at pogo sticking? Is it called pogoing? Do people say pogoing, or is it pogo? It's always pogo sticking.
I don't know. It's on my resume though. It's not gotten me anywhere though. You know what? Actually, it did get me somewhere. I did this game show. Oh my gosh. I did this game show. It was like a comedy game show years ago that never got made or released or whatever. And I pogo sticked in it. They did like an intro video of like who you are. And I pogo sticked. Yeah.
When did you discover?
When I was 9.
You were just like, give me a pogo stick.
And
I'm gonna rock that.
because I'm tiny, I looked it up. I'm still like, I was still under the weight of pogo sticking because they don't really make, I don't think they make a lot of adult pogo sticks. So if you're under a certain weight, you can still buy a kid one and be fine.
You can still stick it.
You could still stick it.
Yeah.
So I think I did it recently in like 2019 or something, and it was still really good. It's such a workout. Watch. I mean, I bet I could see it being like a thing. I'm going to start that.
You're going to start the pogo stick workout?
Yeah, it's so good. It's good for your legs. I used to do my homework on, or I'd like study like questions when I was a kid on it. Like if I had like spelling or whatever, like I just pogo stick.
You are an enigma. Every time I think I've figured you out, you say a thing where I'm like, you what?
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, I used to study on the stick. I'm like, what in God's name? Were your parents just like, quiet down with the pogo stick?
The neighbors were, because the cap was broken. There's a cap on the bottom so it doesn't make a loud noise on the concrete.
Yeah.
But then the cap was broken, and so it just like, it was just making a really bad noise. So it was really loud.
And the neighbors were like, if you don't tell that girl of yours, just shut it. That is absolutely insane. My last question, because I know we have to get to the lightning round, but I'm just dying to know, are there any weird talents that are also living in your resume that, whether they're true or not, are there any other weird ones hiding on there?
No, but you know what's happened to me a lot lately that's made me really sad? I keep getting auditions lately, and I'm like so excited. And then I look at the bio of the audition, like the character breakdown, and it'll be like, please, average women only, no model types. And it'll just be like so like degrading.
Yeah, you're like, oh,
I'm like,
here I am.
Exactly.
Average woman.
That means my agent was like, oh, average looking woman, Juliana, ding.
I had to fire my agent because he got me an audition where I played and this is from the breakdown. This is not me saying this. A ghetto talking a valet is what it said. And I was like, no. I literally said, I wrote it back, said, I'm not doing this. And he said, it's a great opportunity. I said, I'm not doing this. Like it's no one talks this way, and it's offensive and it's rude. No. And he's like, well, I think it's a great opportunity. I was like, well, I think you're fired. You know?
Wow.
Yeah. And then it turns out he had gotten me an audition after, but I had already fired him as the celebrity judge for Blood Pageant. And then I just couldn't do it.
So they got Snoop Dogg, everybody.
Snoop. At the time, he was Snoop Lion, but they ended up getting Snoop Dogg.
That's funny.
It's a problem. Are you ready for the lightning round?
I'm ready.
So the lightning round is 5 fast questions. They do not all have to be fast answers. They're just the last 5 questions we end every episode with.
Okay.
I keep them on an index card, not because I don't have them memorized, because this is the closest I'll be to a talk show host. Sometimes I think I'm on like Singled Out. You know what I mean? Did you ever watch that show?
No.
Oh, it was like this old MTV show.
I love MTV though.
And they always had index cards. And it felt good. Do you still love MTV?
No, because there's nothing on it now.
I was going to say, what do they have?
But
It's
I
like ridiculousness.
Next and Room Raiders.
Do you want to know what I wanted to do? What? In my like teens and early 20s? I wanted to be a writer for Next who just wrote the thing that rhymed, where the person would be like,
when they walk off the bus?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to think of a good one. Like, Juliana's come down. Is she the new girl in town? We'll see if we see her around on Next. Like, I was like, I can write those rhymes. I want to be the rhyme writer. By the way, anyone under the age of like 25 is going to be like, what are these two talking about?
What show is that? Yeah.
I also loved Diary on MTV.
Diary?
It was like celebrities would do like a mini documentary where like cameras would follow them around for like a week. And I just remember they did one on Chris Rock, and he was just like, sometimes I just like to steal. And I was like,
that's funny.
Phenomenal. Okay. Question 1. What is a favorite ritual of yours? So for example, I love brewing tea in the morning.
Lately I've liked running. And I don't know if it's a ritual.
It can be if you want it to be.
But it's now been the thing when I go to a new city. Like I don't like, now I don't even know if this is a ritual, because my boring one was like, I drink coffee every day.
Yeah, I mean, and I love the voice we did there. I drink coffee.
And that's
fun every day. It's great. No, I think running every time you go to a new city is a ritual.
Well, yeah, or like trying not to get in a car. Like, it's so weird.
You're talking about when you go to a new city, not generally.
Yeah, new city.
I thought you meant generally, like you try not to get in a car.
No, like tomorrow in San Francisco, I'm going to try not to get in a car. Like I'm going to take a train from the airport.
Sure.
And just explore the whole city by either foot, bike, ferry, or cable car. Like it's like a weird, cheap way to explore a city. And you feel like you're on a tour.
I love it.
I don't know if that's a ritual, but
I'm going to count it. What is question 2? What is a running bit you have with a friend or partner that makes you laugh?
I keep accidentally punching my boyfriend. and so I say,
like not in the face.
No, like I'll be sleeping. Yes. No, kind of like I'll elbow him or something. And I'll be like, I'm sorry, I'm going through a growth spurt.
I love that. The girl who could still legally be on the pogo stick for kids.
Yes.
Yeah, you're
I'm
going
like,
through
I'm sorry,
a growth spurt.
I'm still growing. So that always makes him laugh if I accidentally like hit him
Bop
or
him in the face.
kick him. Like I'll just randomly. He's like, "What is?"
That's a phenomenal
I
answer.
also have really pointy elbows.
Your elbows look fine.
Really?
I think so.
No, they're pointy. Show me your elbow.
Okay, hold on. For the audience, you're going to have to watch this on YouTube to see. I think we have the same pointiness. Do we not?
Maybe you just have a pointy elbow.
Jude, do I have a pointy elbow? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, Jude is saying, for those who can't hear him, Jude is saying we both have pointy elbows.
Pointy elbows.
Now I'm going to hide mine. Hold on.
Yeah, you should.
Now I'm self-conscious. I gotta tell you something. Never is that part of my body made me self-conscious until today.
Oh, 8th grade, everybody's like, you got knife elbows. I'm like, what?
How is it the kids are able to just narrow in on your biggest insecurity like that? Like, oh, look at old knife elbows over there.
Elbows.
Oh my God.
And then it was, of course, like, he just likes you.
Well, if he liked me, maybe you'd say I have nice elbows.
Nice elbows.
Ugh. What was his name?
I don't even remember.
Well, I don't care for him.
Exactly.
Question 3.
Okay.
What is a very controversial opinion that you have?
Really?
Yeah.
I don't like homeless people. They just chase me.
Oh,
I always
okay.
get chased in like North Hollywood.
So over aggressive. We maybe say aggressive homeless people get to you.
Controversial, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, listen. Most of the people I run into, of all the people I run into in LA, homeless or not, I think it's rare that someone is just like, it's so good to meet. Like, how are you? Can I give you something for free? Like, that doesn't happen. The other day, I went to order a cup of coffee. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. Are there 2 shots or 1 shot if I just get a macchiato? And they're like, everything's 2.
People are so rude these days.
I was just like, okay, I didn't know. I was like, and I apologized to him.
Yes.
I was like, oh, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to upset you.
That
I
happened
didn't
to me
know.
at a bagel shop. They got my order wrong and they were like, well, maybe if you're more specific.
What? Okay, just as a Jew, I need to know. What did they do wrong with your bagel?
They it's supposed to be like a lox
Courage
sandwich.
Was it Courage?
No, like the place?
Yeah.
No, it's a place in Burbank. I forgot the name.
I mean, the big bagel places, I think, are for like Courage, Yeasty Boys.
Hanks.
Don't know it.
Yeah.
So you can talk all the trash you want. I don't know Hanks.
And so it was like $19 for a bagel with a piece of salmon on top. And my boyfriend and I were like, oh, we ordered like the lox sandwich. And they're like, well, maybe say that next time. I'm like, we did. And then like the manager had to come to us. Also, don't like people with green hair. Sorry, I'll just put
green hair?
Yeah.
How many people are you running into with that?
Managers in the valley they're like 21 and they have nose piercings and green hair. And they're like, they'll defend the person. Like the cashier got so mad at my boyfriend and I, and we weren't even mad. And then the girl with the green hair who's 21 managing the place was like, well, we understand, but it was like just defending the cashier.
I would be like, just get me what I ordered and like, let's move on.
And then she charged us again for another bagel. We were like, what?
Are you serious?
Yes.
I would never go back there.
Yeah. So we're like, no.
I'm telling you right now, like, I'm sorry to say this, but like Hanks, you're out. You're done. I just looked right on
Am I going to get sued?
From Hanks?
Yeah.
I don't think so. You told the true story.
It's true. Okay.
Unless she had like blue hair, and then now we're, this could be a problem. Question 4. Have you ever experienced imposter syndrome? And if so, is there one moment that really sticks with you?
I got an audition for something. I'm not going to say what it was.
You don't have to. It was the Avengers. Got it. Okay.
And it was really freaking big, and not a lot of people got called to audition, I think.
Oh, wow. And
I kept telling people, oh, I think it's a mistake. I think it must be, is it open call? Like, is everybody auditioning? Do you know anybody? And everybody's like, no, I think I know one other person out of like everybody we know in LA. And I was like, oh, weird. And then I did the audition and it was great, but it was kind of like made me, I was just couldn't convince myself that I actually got chosen.
Wow.
Yeah. And then, I'll do great shows and people will laugh, and I will be like, oh, it must have just been an easy crowd. Like, why would they laugh? Like I
think we all do that. I hate that I do it.
Yeah.
I'm not proud of that part of me.
Or I'll do something good at work and people will notice, and I'll be like, oh, they just are babying me. Like they don't actually think I did something. Like I'll just go. I always do that. Yeah.
Going back to the first thing you said about the audition, like to me, one of the best things I ever heard, and I'm trying to remember who it was from, was when you are an actor, auditioning is your job. A side benefit is occasionally getting roles, but your job is to audition.
Yeah.
And it completely changed my mindset about auditioning. And I remember I heard an interview with Allison Williams from Girls. I don't know if you knew her. I know you don't watch anything, but she was also in Megan, if you saw that, or Get Out, if you saw that. You didn't see either of those. Excellent.
I think Get Out was a long time ago.
I respect that. Suffice it to say, she once said that like she celebrates little victories. If she gets a big audition, regardless of what happens outside of it, the fact that she got the audition, like she will celebrate. And I hope that you were able to celebrate getting that audition.
I did. I definitely was happy because I'm like, I'm not going to book what it was. I already know I'm not going to book what it was. But getting that audition shows I did something right in the comedy world.
Not only that, you also have a casting director who has influence seeing you.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you, and I'm not even, you know, what do I know? I know nothing. All right. Question 5, final question. What is your favorite tea? And if you don't love tea, what is your favorite comfort?
I don't like tea, actually. That's
Really?
why I haven't drank. I mean, I like this tea, actually.
Okay.
It's different.
This
than
was
what
okay.
I'm like. Okay, sweet tea in Texas, but that doesn't count. But it's not my comfort because I feel like I like coffee. I'm a big coffee drinker, but I only like cheap coffee. I went to Alfred's the other day. This is weird. Do you know Alfred's?
I'm very familiar.
So Alfred's is
I don't go there because it's a little expensive, but
exactly.
I know it.
I had a gift card from it.
Good for you.
And I went and I was like ordering coffee and it was so confusing. And I was like, can you just make it like McDonald's? And they just stared at me.
You're just like, can I just get a black coffee, cream and sugar?
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're like, no.
Well, because they were like, it's drip and it's Americana and it's this. And I was like, I just want coffee with ice.
Just
like I want regular coffee.
They won't just do an iced coffee?
No, they're just like, oh, but this, and it was too strong. But I made it, I did something and it was good. But yeah, I like cheap coffee. Like 7-Eleven coffee.
The guy that cuts my hair, shout out Raphael, greatest guy in the whole wide world, starts every morning for 20 plus years with a McDonald's coffee.
Love it.
And I'll tell you this, if it's good enough for Raphael, it's good enough for all of us. You know what I mean? He's a legend and he's drinking it.
And it's cheap. It's like $1.20 or something.
You know what's an embarrassing thing for me?
What?
When I have those really sugary Dunkin' Donuts coffees, I like those too.
Oh yeah, those are good too.
Yeah, I'm not one of those people who goes, ew, it's so sugary. I'm like, ew, it's so delicious. It's dessert in a cup.
I like coffee, but again, I won't pay a lot of money for it. The more money I pay, the worse I don't like the taste of it.
We have an espresso. If I made that, would you drink it?
No.
Okay, because too strong. All right.
And I make faces when I don't like stuff, so I don't really like alcohol either. I like wine, but anything else, I'm like, ugh.
You'll make a face.
Yeah.
So you're very easily read. So if you like someone can read you very easily.
Yes. Yes.
So like if your boyfriend cooked for you and you don't like it, you'd be like, that's good.
Yeah, but he's such a good cook. So that doesn't happen. But
I wouldn't know. He hasn't made me a damn
thing. But if he gives me like, I'll try some of his whiskey or something. I'm like, ugh.
It's a whole thing.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Well, that's the podcast. How do you feel?
Great.
Yeah. I think that the big learning I have here is that we all need to watch, is it Deadly Garage Sale?
Deadly Garage Sale.
Deadly Garage Sale. Or more importantly, The Curse of the Clown Motel. Go find it wherever you see streaming things.
Yes.
Illegally.
You.
Yeah, illegally only. Come back anytime.
Yes, I would love to. Thank you.
Of course. That was Juliana DeStefano. You can find her on Instagram at Juliana DeStefano1. This episode was produced by Jude Crowner. It was edited by Martin Alvarez. Our theme song and additional music are by Oliver Hymack. Our cover art was done by Neil Fraser with photography by Matt Mazisco. Social media by Dia Villegas. Please write a review and rate our podcast on Apple Podcasts and wherever else you can. You can send any questions, comments, newly friend game suggestions, or tea suggestions to steepcombos@gmail.com or tweet us at steepcombos. I'm Josh Lanzette, and you can follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook at Josh Lanzette. We'll be back next week, so until then, happy steeping. I wonder if like the real insiders call it just, oh, I was sticking.
I was sticking.
I was sticking.
I like that.
Yeah,
Sounds
you know?
dirty.
Yeah, I was PSing, you know?